Alright, I think I'm centered. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. My name is David, and I'm coming here today because I kind of felt like this conviction inside of my heart. All right, so today I was kind of going deep because, well, it was a really slow start this morning. I could not get out of bed. I was just scrolling on my phone, and then I sat down and I realized, like, man, I just wasted, like, I'm not gonna say how long because I'm kind of embarrassed about it, but 3 hours of my day. I had to say it because then it's like, why am I so ashamed of it, right? Um, but yeah, I just wasted so much time. And I was like, man, I need to lock in. So I got up, but then I was like, what was stopping me from getting up? Like what's been plaguing my mind these last couple of days, right? And so let me set the scene real quick, get you guys some context of what I'm gonna get into, okay? So I went to the beach with me and my friends Saturday. Today's Monday, and it was cool. It was all cool and cordial. We got there, but before that, I didn't have that much money, right? Because it was my friend's birthday party the day before, and then we had to go to the beach the day after, and I was like, it's kind of running slim. And so I had to ask my mom for some extra help. And a little complication there, but it was all right. But there was always like this underlying game, trying to mix guilt and shame in the same word, but underlying guilt and shame, and sort of like this hurt to like my pride, right? Because like every single time I've always told myself I never like to ask my parents for anything because that kind of like makes me feel like I'm not doing enough, or I'm not where I want to be at. And as you can tell, it's probably gonna get a lot more personal. But I want you guys to start relating this into your own life. I'm not saying word for word, bar for bar, but different things that's been stopping you from pursuing what you want to pursue, right? And then it goes deep. It goes deep into your subconscious. It goes deep into your programs. That's what's been stopping you. And I've noticed this has been stopping me from my attachment towards money. My money issues, like money issues, but I just had a really big attachment towards money because I attached money to like status, to how my dad and my mom see me, how they love me, etc., right? Which, of course, nah, I'm not trying to bash them, but it's just how it looked like, right? And so I learned that from a pretty young age, and so whenever I asked my parents for money, I'd always sort of feel like um, I feel like they kind of shame me for it, like especially my dad. Um, Again, not trying to shame the guy, but I feel like he would like project how he would feel about money onto me, and since I didn't really realize that, I kind of just accepted that as my identity. That money is scarce. That money makes up my identity, makes up my self worth, and that I need it for validation and sort of that sense of love, within the family. And so no matter what I did, if money was in at risk, if I didn't have that much money left over, I would feel attacked. I would feel like I'm losing a part of me, a part of my self-worth, and again, how I was looked and perceived by my parents, right? And it sort of mixed in with my relationship with God as well, I sort of realized. And it sort of mixed in with my relationship with God as well, I sort of realized. All right, so fast forward, Saturday, I get, I, we're all good. We're going there, and cool day, right? Well, it's going towards the end, right? And throughout the whole time, it was in the back of my mind. I felt the enemy. I felt the ego within me, kind of worried about the money. We had to pay parking tickets to like stay there, and we only went there for a day. We drove there and then drove back the same day. That's what cool. Anyway, um, and so we had to pay parking tickets, of course, gas, and of course food, and of course if we want to do stuff, right? And so I'm like, damn, like I don't know how I'm able to do this, right? And I don't want to like, again, I didn't want to ask my friends for help, right? I kind of just expected them to. I kind of wanted them to, right? And so I was attaching. Is that a fucking? That's a moth, bro. I thought it was a bat, yo. I was like, what the hell? Sorry. So I was sort of attaching like an outcome that I wanted, and if I didn't get it, I kind of got angry, right? Because I couldn't control the outcome of my friends giving me the money that I sort of needed, right? And so I'm paying parking tickets. Luckily, one of my friends was helping me pay for like ice and like more parking tickets, and then help me with gas and stuff like that. So it was cool. And then got towards the end, right? And I like looked at my account and I was like, all right, well, they wanted to go out to eat at a dinner, right? So we can have our whole goodbye. And I was like, like, I suppose, but I did want to go home. I'll be honest with you. It was like 5 o'clock at that time. It was like a 3-4 hour drive back home, and so I was like, you know what? I kind of want to go back home. We could eat something quick and just go back home, keep it cool. And but the other ones, there was two cars. There was my car. I had 3 people with me. The other car had 4, plus 4, and the other 4, they wanted to stay and walk around the boardwalk and just enjoy their time. But I was so like stuck up about like the money and like everything like that, I was kind of like moved to just do something that I kind of did for my own security, did for my own self-worth, right? And so we left, right? They were like, okay, we're gonna stay, and we are like, oh, I'm gonna go. I'm not sure if they're upset. I doubt they are. I highly doubt they're watching this video in the first place. But I felt like this sort of guilt and this sort of shame, right? Because what the ego loves to do is it loves to make the cycle, okay? Now, the beginning of the cycle is a belief. The belief is money scarce, it's part of my identity, it's part of my self-worth, etc. Things I mentioned in the beginning. The second part is the action taken, the behavior. So if I behave in a way that reflects that belief, then the result of that, which is the behavior, was me being scared, me not wanting to spend money, me wanting to go home, and me actually going home. And then the result of that was me feeling guilty of the thing that I did. And so I'm in the car and I'm like, damn, I kind of feel bad. Like, we didn't even get to say goodbye in a way. And so I was filled with so much shame, so much guilt. Like, why was I so stuck up about money, etc. I tried to accept in the fact that it is what it is. That's what I thought was the best thing to do at the time. But it was hard, you know. It was like I was just stuck in the same cycle. And then again, that belief of like money is my self-worth really plagued me, because I was like, man, I don't want that to be me. But I was aware of it, but I was just so scared in a way that I kind of just played right into the ego's trap, the enemy's trap. And so boom, that happened. And then, so I'm stuck up, like now the cycle's there. Now the result is I'm guilty and I'm shameful again, and now my pride is hurt. So it goes back to the same belief, which was that money is my self-worth, money is this, that money is that. I need this in order for me to feel love, etc. Right? And so I've been working on it for a little while. You know, I've been implementing that God is my source, that money is not scarce, that money is abundant, that I'm an abundant person, etc. But again, that old ego program was just underlying the whole entire time. So no matter how much I was trying to enforce, to impress into my mind that I am an abundant person, that money is abundant, that underlying prideful, shameful guilt was just plaguing that every move. And so the only way for you to actually change your life is become aware of what's underlying, become aware of what the root is, and then once you're aware of that, let it go, surrender it to God, and then replace that with the thing you've been trying to replace it with. And that's what my whole new thing is now. You know, you don't understand how much relief and freedom I felt after I was able just to sit down and realize, like, hey, all that stuff about money is not real, all right? My parents will still love me. Even if they don't, I'll still love myself. God will still love me. People will still look at me as if I'm David the way I am. And money does not define who I am, all right? And so I won't create such an attachment towards money. I won't be so scared to let go of it. And in fact, if once I become less scared to let go of it, it will come to me much easier, and I'll be able to let go of it much easier and live life much more freely, because God is my source. He is my security. And so that's what the whole life is about, right? I hope you guys were able to picture this thing the way I picture it. Obviously, I lived this thing. Hopefully, I was able to, picture it for you guys. But just think of it as like that belief, that program inside your mind has been programmed into you because you continue to produce behaviors and results that then reinforce your already set in stone belief. All right? And the only way you can become aware of this belief, of those beliefs, those programs, is by paying attention to how you feel. If you ever feel guilty, if you ever feel shameful, if you ever feel fear, anger, prideful, look back. What is it that's sort of impulsing that from you? Where is that coming from? And notice how I went from feeling guilty about leaving early from a beach trip with my friends to finding out that it's from old programs from my parents, from my, all that, to like going into an even deeper level, that in my identity that I thought money was my worth. I thought I needed money to feel validation, to feel that love, to feel that security, and that I didn't trust God enough, right? That was underlying from that result. And so it's like the tip of the iceberg you got to start becoming aware of, and then below the iceberg is what you start digging and uncovering. And trust me, every single day I am continually letting go and surrendering of this program, of these old fears, of these old habits, to continue to impress new things into my life the unlimited version of myself that God sees us as. And it's just one step at a time, all right? Every single day, I'm continually learning new things. And some people may look at Saturday and be like, damn, you failed. Like, you shouldn't have done that. I myself was doing that myself. I was kind of feeling like you know better. Why you falling for that, da-da-da-da. But at the end of the day, a wise man once said, it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens to you. Everything happens for you, not to you. So take it with a grain of salt. Find the hidden gem at every single situation and try learning from it. And sure, I think honestly, I don't even think my friends are upset at me. It could just really be all in my head. But again, if I continually act like the way of guilty and shameful person, then I would just continue producing results that reflect that I am a guilty and shameful person. And then, it just wouldn't really end well. But yeah, that's my whole story. That's my whole spiel. I hope you guys can learn from that as well. I hope I was able to picture that perfectly for you guys. Hope you guys were able to truly understand what I was going through, and you guys can implement this in your life. If you need any help, trying to implement this, you're like, man, I notice I get really shameful, really prideful at certain reactions or certain things, hit me up. I would love to help debunk this, because someone was always there for me to debunk this. Someone was always helped me get deeper and deeper into deep-rooted stuff that I was too sort of blind to see. And so it's always cool to talk to somebody. Yeah, if you're interested in doing that, if you want to get into coaching, of course. I am a coach. I don't think I've mentioned that too much in the YouTube stuff, but I am a coach. I do help people overcome these things. I help people connect their desires with God to become the version that they're meant to be and get the things that they want, using God's power. And I talk about it all over my YouTube, so even if you don't want to be coached by me, you can just check out my YouTube. You'll still get crazy value from there. And yeah, feel free to subscribe, feel free to follow, like up the video, and follow me on Instagram. You'll see me more there, more daily stuff instead of every other 3 days. But yeah, God bless. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching.